So here we have Andy Aynesworth, no nonsense poet, who's gifted us with his presence here at the Living Room Gallery space in Boroughbridge. Welcome, Andy. It's really lovely to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be doing in this space?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't gifted you with my presence, so I'm lucky to be invited. So thank you. Yeah, my name's Andy Aynesworth, as you say. Basically, as a result of a chance encounter on a business course, really, met Jane, who's part of the group, um, and I read out a couple of my poems on the course and absolutely loved it. And before you know it, here I am, bit of a whirlwind, really. Um, we had a meeting and pitched the idea of trying to set up a poetry group for people that don't normally get into poetry or write poems and don't think that the world is, that they're worthy of the world hearing them. I can tell you now they absolutely are. Um, a couple of years back now, I went to a poetry, what they call a poetry palooza. I had no idea what that meant either, but basically it was a competition, but people came and read their poems and all the rest of it. I kind of connected with some of the poems that were being read by one of the poets there, and we had a bit of a chat afterwards, and she made the mistake of asking me what I did for a living, really. And so we had a bit of pop-up therapy for a while because I wasn't very happy with my job. At the end of it, she said, "You sound like you've got a lot to write. You should write a poem." And I kind of did, and it sort of I wrote one, and I put that by one of my colleagues that I was working with at the time, who is very arty in her kind of world. And I really trusted to give him some honest feedback, and he said, "That's really good." So it kind of it flowed from there, really. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've heard some of your poetry and it's absolutely fantastic. And we're absolutely thrilled to have you with the No Nonsense Poetry Group, and we're setting this up. And so it's going to run every other Monday.
Yeah, sort of October, November time, I think. It's one of those where trying to set up a group really where um, people just feel welcome to come and have a go without their stuff being judged. I went to, lucky enough to go on a cruise recently for my wedding anniversary, and we spent a bit of time in Denmark. And while I was around that part of the world, I read up on, I don't know if people have heard of the Danish way of life or culture, hygge, which is basically a love of all the little things in life. It could be anything. Spending time with family, just sitting and doing some macrame if that's what you do, or I've done some Lego recently. I'd like sitting and making little bits of Lego and stuff like that. And then like the good times in your life when you're cozy and comfortable and you're warm and you kind of feel like you're amongst friends and you're just having a nice time and life is simple and it's good. We're trying to create a bit of a poetry group really where hopefully on a wintry cold Monday night people have got somewhere after a day's work or a day at home or whatever people are doing, can sort of get together in the living room, gather in the living room either in person or virtually, so we can all get together and just have a night where we can pick a topic, whatever that may be, just write some stuff or bring some stuff that's already been written, um, kind of do that in a non-judgmental, friendly, warm atmosphere, and then have time afterwards to share some of what we've written, without academically talking about it or kind of being, critiquing it. It's just kind of being accepting of what people have written, at a particular given time from the heart, from the head. Um, and yeah, just enjoy each other's company really and make more friends as well as a few and poems that fall out of that will be a bonus. Thinking about what is for you, what are the good things in life? What brings you that comfort? What brings you that joy? What are the things that you really appreciate, whether it's being in nature, whatever it is? So just write about what's important to you, and that could be anything to anybody really. It's all very personal, kind of comes from you. So there's that. Another topic could be something like Sod's Law. Um, we never get, well, for a while we didn't get invited out anywhere after COVID and all the rest of it. We haven't been out for ages, really. And we got invited to two parties, one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday. We'd never caught COVID, and blown me down on the Friday, we both tested positive, my wife and I, for COVID. So we didn't get to go. So that was a bit of a sod's law type of weekend. So there might be something that typical. It's just sod's law, or the law of sods, as Jane calls it. And it's sort of one of those where, um, yeah, you can just write about real life experiences for you. Just kind of what I found was, if you kind of some of the groups that I've been to are amazing, and you kind of do similar things to what we're trying to do. But there are one or two places you go and you think it's kind of people tend to get wrapped up in the poetry and the structure of the poetry and a stanza and a line and the word and all this, which is amazing and important for academic type of poetry. But that's not really what I think we're looking to try and do here. This is about people that just want to come and have a go without the fear, without the anxiety of feeling like it's being judged from an academic perspective. You just write because it gets stuff off your chest, it gets stuff out. Yeah, there's that social element to it where you just sit around and share and have a laugh. Really, your poems are uniquely yours. You kind of people can't take away what you write, and people will judge in any way that they like to, but actually that's your stuff. So who cares what everybody else thinks? So let's have a look here. Try and do it without my glasses.
I think that's one of the things that stops people a lot in creative work. They fear what other people will think, but they also go into the self-critical mind of what they're doing as well. And if you can convince yourself to step outside of that critical mind, the flow that comes can be amazing.
One rule actually that I learned in one of the groups that I attended was the fact that you never say sorry for what you write. People used to go, oh, I'm really sorry, this isn't very good. Never apologise. That's one of the big rules. That'll be the rule of this group, really. You know, we want it to be inclusive. We want anybody from any background to want to be able to attend, to come and be in a safe environment, express who they are, be their authentic selves, and just kind of express what they're thinking in poetry, really, and kind of make new friends, meet new people, and kind of get involved with the joy of poetry, because it is a joy once you actually get going in it.
Is there going to be a theme for each session?
Do you know what? I think there probably would be. What I might try and do as well is to think about different structures of different poems that I can kind of pick up. But also as well, I'd encourage what I'd like to do really is generate that from within the group as well. So there will be people that have got some experience of writing poems and stuff, or want to bring an idea, be it like a haiku, which is a Japanese poem with set syllables of 5 syllables. I quite like those because they're quite short. You get quite a quick, immediate gratification of writing something quite quick with that one. So people, as we go along and kind of get established, people want to bring stuff or suggest topics or what have you. Then yeah, let's make it a group effort rather than just me coming along and dictating what's happening all the time. I don't want it to be like that, really.
Cool. Cool. So if we had a subject, say Sod's Law, like you mentioned before,
Yeah.
if we had a subject like Sod's Law for one of the evenings, how would you encourage people to get into the mindset of writing a poem with that? Is there a preparation to it, or what would you suggest?
Yeah, I think what it would be is, for me, just sort of top of my head would be an idea to kind of sit and talk about sod's law, what people understand by the idea of what sod's law is, because people might have a different understanding of that, and that's fine. Write that from your perspective, but also just generate a few examples from people that have attended about kind of okay, so gives an example of what happened for you, because that always triggers thoughts and snowballs ideas, and then maybe even a bit of word association that might go with stuff like that. And then you think about like even James Hoover, the idea, the fact that that situation sucks. There's actually so many other like Hoovery vacuum type, puns, people working in a vacuum, all those kind of things that you can maybe put into what it is that you're writing. So yeah, just to generate the thought processes, get the whole idea going, do a bit of brainstorming, sort of throw a few ideas down on paper for yourself individually, and then hopefully the poems will fall out of that then. And you don't have to create a masterpiece at the end of the night. If you're part way through, you read the bit that you're part way through, you've got a couple of weeks if you want to work on that and bring it to the next one, whatever it may well be. So there's absolutely no pressure on stuff.
No rules, no pressure. So it's a 45-minute session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be 45 minutes for kind of writing stuff.
Yeah.
And have a bit of a break, and then we'll sort of do the reading sort of afterwards, and no pressure to read out what you want to read.
So there's a second 45-minute session afterwards, and if people can't make the first session and just want to come along and read some poetry on the second session, is that possible too?
Yeah, I see no reason why not with that. People want to come along. It may be that they've attended like a double session the first week, but can't make the first part of it for whatever reason. We've all got lives, haven't we? They can't make the second part, whatever. They can, it's open house really. For people to come, literally open house, open living room, really wonderful. It's a lovely space in here. So people can kind of come and go as they please, contribute as much as they want to. Really.
Well, it sounds fantastic. I can't actually wait to get them started with you and have some time here and do that.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I kind of really appreciate the opportunity. Actually, after the meeting that we had, the phone call around, oh Andy, we like your stuff. We'd like to do this. What do you think of this idea? and here we are, kind of sat here really. So trying to give the thing some legs. Try this one. This one's called Success, actually, and I think it sort of also has echoes of the fact that everybody's poems are very individual. And I wrote this poem on the back of a whole team meeting thing that we had once, where we were talking about what success is. People have some very defined sort of ideas about what success is. If you look on the media and whatever, it's all about what you own and how much money you've got a lot of the time and all these kind of things, and wonderful Instagram pictures and this kind of thing. But I think it goes a bit deeper than that. So this one's called Success. And for this poem, you'd need one pencil, possibly an eraser, one mirror, and some time to reflect. So here we go. How do you define success? Write it on the line. Just put down what you truly think. It doesn't have to rhyme. Then look into the mirror and face it eye to eye. Will that be success to you, or is it just a lie? Is it what you truly want, or what others want instead? Is it driven by your heart, or driven by your head? Or imposed by others in the world who would shape who you should be? Or something chosen by yourself, willfully and free? Will it make you happy? Will it make you whole? Will it fill your bank account and also fill your soul? Will you nurture others or leave them damaged in your wake? Will it lead to happiness or be a big mistake? So how do you define success? What's written on the line? What impact did those questions have? Have you changed your mind? Or do you feel your path is right? Make sure you're free to choose and keep looking deep into the mirror, for the answer lies with you. So I kind of wrote that in terms of just the idea, the fact that success, you define that yourself. It may be that you kind of, you've got a family, or you kind of you're on your own, but you're going out and you're traveling the world, or you're doing whatever it is, whatever success to you comes from you. It's not dictated by the world outside. So kind of that's the idea of that, for people to reflect on the fact that it's a bit wider than what the world wants to dictate success.
That's a wonderful philosophy to end on. So thank you very much. It's been absolutely wonderful to have you here.
Welcome, and I just encourage people to come along. Please come along to the group. It'll be a lot of fun and a lot of creativity, and in a wonderful space.
You have the ability to. You have so much humility about you, and the quirky depth and sides to you. You'll just have a way of relaxing people, helping them to tap into their creativity. So we're looking forward to this wonderful collaboration with you. We really are. Really are. Yeah.
Thank you.